Welcome to Beacon of Truth Tarot. This is Laurel. Just did a bunch of automatic writing on the nature of censorship. And now I'm being called to do a reading. I don't know if this reading will have anything to do with that, but I'm being called to do a reading. So here we go. I'm using the Murder of Crows Tarot by Corrado Roy. So we're just going to see what messages come out. Okay. Starting out, we've got the King of Cups in reverse, the Seven of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. Okay, so the energy coming in is one of nightmares, frustration. The Nine of Swords is an overwhelming energy of fear, worry. In this particular card, she's seeing the shadow of a crow and she's terrified of it. Like it's something very large and oppressive. That's the energy coming in. It's coming out with the King of Cups in reverse with the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a defensive position, standing on higher ground. Well, that's interesting. In this particular deck, this figure is looking at a small crow. And I feel like it's putting into perspective, this giant wraith of a crow is actually not that giant. It's not that big. It's seeing the reality for what it truly is. Coming out with the King of Cups in reverse. When the King of Cups is upright, it's a balanced emotional energy. It can represent Scorpio, which is a sign of death and rebirth. It's a very balanced, it's the correct balance of emotional energy. And in reverse, it's not seeing reality for what it actually is. What it actually is, I want to say the launching point into understanding that this... Okay, there's a book, it was printed I think in the 70s, maybe the 60s. It's called The Phantom Toll Booth. Gosh, it's such a great book. It had so many cute little plays on words. One of the things that the protagonist encountered, I think he was standing over a hole, and from this hole was this giant booming voice, and it was very scary. What it turned out to be was just this little tiny guy who was just shouting really, really big. And as soon as the protagonist saw that it was just this little tiny guy, the guy went scurrying off. That's just what I'm getting, that it's something like that, that there's a big energy that's foreboding. It's not real. The reality is it's only this big. That's what I'm getting. Okay. In the world, we've got the King of Wands and the Ten of Wands. Gosh, that's interesting. Okay, the King of Wands. This is the spiritual warrior. It's the warrior. It's the king, though. It's not just the foot soldiers. This is the king. It's a balanced spiritual energy, but it's a fighter. He takes action, understanding the true balance. Our point of control in this is the Ten of Wands. This is oftentimes the burden card, but to me it's the burden of the master. Coming out with the King of Wands, for sure, it's the burden of the master. This is taking on a burden in service to others. To me, if we're talking about the suppression, it has to do with being over the target. That there are great warriors, of which the suppressed are part of, that are carrying this burden, taking. Okay, so what I'm getting is that the people being suppressed are the ones who have taken on this burden intentionally. They're the kings. They're the strong ones. Okay. In the immediate environment, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. Before I pull this, I need to say that this burden of the Master card is in our position of control. This Nine of Pentacles is coming out in their control over us. And Justice. That's falling in the position of other. Wow, this is a beautiful, formidable energy combination. Like, these are both incredibly strong positions. The Justice card indicates a true balance. Okay, it's coming out with the Nine of Pentacles in their position of control over us. And the Nine of Pentacles is stability for one person. There's something very service to self about this combination, because it's in the position of other, coming out with nightmares. Their position of control, what they're doing over us, has to do with individual stability. The nines to me are for one person, the tens are for more than one person. So there's something here about keeping it small and on the earth plane. Justice to me is on the earth plane, whereas the counter energy to this on the greater plane, so for more than one, would be the Judgment card. That's card 20. This is card 11. They're both twos. We're going to get more as we go along here. What we've done with this, or what's actually going on. We've got the Three of Pentacles in reverse. The Knight of Wands. And the World. Wow. Okay, so the World is falling in our current position. Before I get into this, I'm noticing that we've got the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles coming out with Justice. This is like, because this falls in the position of other, and these are both nines. There's something here to do with the elite, and I say that because the Nine of Pentacles, this woman has it all. In the Rider-Waite deck, like, she has it all. She could definitely be like an elitist. Like, there's something here that their whole balance rests in them having it all through fear over us. There's something about that with this fear card, nightmares card, making themselves bigger than they really are, and being all, I can't even say all powerful. The Nine of Pentacles is not all powerful, but they are very wealthy. This is the crux of the balance being proposed to us, being instituted upon us. That's not the right word. Their wealth depends upon our fear. That's what it feels like. Okay. Okay. Let me get these back more in camera view. Because it's coming in like this is a greater energy than this one. It's like our fear gives them their wealth, something like that. And there is a, this is the crux of their trying to make things work in the world. Okay. Now, in our position of confidence, we have the Knight of Wands. Now the Knight of Wands is like the King of Wands, except he's taking action. This is in our confidence position. This is the spiritual warrior to me, this particular card, the Knight. I mean, it feels like through our knowing, through our fiery spiritual balance, we're taking action. And we know we can do this. The Knight of Wands is not afraid. He just acts. Acts with integrity. Our current position is the World. This is the accumulation point. It's the ending of one cycle and moving into another. It's a 3 as opposed to a 2. It's a greater energy than this earth plane balancing. This earth plane karmic play out. Can be the justice system itself. But I don't feel like that. I feel like this is a much more big picture energetic reading. It's interesting because the World card is card 21. It's a 3. And in what we're going for, we've got the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Now upright, the 3 of Pentacles is a collaboration on the earth plane. So what we want is to not have this collaboration anymore. We don't want to play in their world. That's what it looks like. There is a completion point happening though. And it includes not collaborating here in what's being offered. Okay. In the greater environment, we've got the Page of Cups and the 3 of Cups. Okay. So the 3 of Cups. Okay. The 3 of Cups is our soul community, our close community, the people around us, the people who are important to us. It's like-minded individuals working together in celebration and in love, because this is the cup suit. That's the emotional heart-based suit. Yep. Okay, so this is kind of what I was getting from my automatic writing. It's not about trying to fix things on the earth plane. It's about trying to fix things in the heart space. There's something about the hidden realms. Like if we're being psychically attacked here with this 9 of Swords, with fear, the answer is not necessarily on the earth plane, especially if they have control over the justice system. It has to do with the heart space, community, humanity. Now, generally speaking, these 2 cards out here in the greater environment usually have to do with this energy here coming in, has to do with other, but I feel like it's a greater something. So like we're trying to make things happen, we're picking up this burden, we're being the spiritual warrior on the earth plane though, and our best, it's not about this on the earth plane thing, the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. It's about heart space. So what I was saying about my automatic writing that I did, there's something, if we're going to combat this, it talks about combating it in within first, combating it within the heart realm first, which is hidden. It's not on the earth plane. Now in alchemy, the water realm is represented by the downward pointing triangle, and the earth realm is represented by the downward pointing triangle with a line through it. They're very much in alignment, but what happens on the earth plane first starts within the water realm, the emotional realm. Coming out here with the Page of Cups, I feel like this is the individual just dipping their, I feel like it's this individual, this Page of Cups is joining this greater heart community, finding like-minded individuals. The 3 of Cups can also represent like prayer and meditation groups. But I do think that this speaks to the work that needs to be done here has to do with heart and humanity and joining together with others. It's not about, I'm trying to say, the heart realm begets the physical realm. It's not the other way around. It's much more difficult to do things in the physical realm and expect it to affect the heart. It's easier to affect the heart, which is the big one, which then fixes the physical realm. Something like that. I want to say also that this, in case you notice change, I'm standing up right now. This King of Cups in reverse starting out, it's like our emotional thing got all thrown off balance because of this fear, and we need to start small again, get back into this water realm thing as a page, as a novice, and move towards unity. The world here in our current position, we are at an end cycle. Things are coming full circle. Okay. Our new perspective. The King of Pentacles. Wow, we've got a lot of kings out here. Okay, so this talks about our new perspective is to take control of our earth realm. Spark a change. The Two of Swords in reverse. That talks about not being indecisive. Upright, the Two of Swords is somebody going within, blocking out the outside world to come to their own conclusions. Our spark of change is, I can't say not do that with this in reverse. It's kind of like we've done that and we're coming out of that time. Maybe this is why it's falling on top of the Knight of Wands. It's time to take action. It's time to take action. Like we're trying too hard to figure it out. Okay, best course of action. Nine of Cups in reverse. Now, the Nine of Cups, when it's upright, this is enough for one person, enough love. To me, it's often a very gluttonous card. This person is keeping all of the cups for themselves. Gosh, that's interesting. It's got that large wraith of a crow there again. Look at that. Okay, so I think our best course of action is to okay, this feels like a monk or a druid or something like that, where despite this large scary thing being there, this person is very balanced internally, balanced in the heart realm. I'm just going to lay out the cards and then I can summarize, but I'm being guided to just move along, which is why I'm not explaining these cards to a huge degree right now. What we're going to struggle with. The Ace of Pentacles. Planting the seed. Getting a new start, a new seed point. It's falling on top of the Justice card. Now, to me, the Pentacles can also be evidence. So possibly bringing this evidence to court system. But it feels more like a seed point. We're having trouble planting the seed that's going to take a root on the earth plane. Okay, what needs to fall away? The Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands, when it's in reverse. When it's upright, the Nine of Wands is being beat up. Oh gosh, that's so interesting. What needs to fall away is lack of action due to defensiveness. This also speaks a little bit to the Seven of Wands here. We need to understand we're on higher ground. This isn't as big as it seems. The Nine of Wands is a struggle. So it's talking about like letting the struggle fall away. And that's what needs to, okay. This is being in reverse in what needs to fall away. It's a little bit of a double negative to me. But what I want to say is what needs to fall away is being on the defense, not acting offensively, not taking action. Okay, so if we're being psychically attacked, what needs to fall away is our lack of understanding that we're under attack. Yep. Okay, the direction we need to head. The Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune represents Jupiter, its expansion. It's also God. Let God come in here. This is the Great Wheel. It has to do with letting go and letting God. It has to do with taking chances. It's a little bit of a gamble. But more so, holy cow, that's interesting. This is card 10 in the Major Arcana, and it's falling on the 10 of Wands. There's something inherent in the 10 of Wands that is one person taking on this burden. A spiritual burden. A burden that's bigger than themselves for the behalf of others. And the direction we need to head is to see that this is actually a much larger cycle, and that I want to say God helps those who help themselves. Like, we have the power of an engine behind us that is God's timing. It has to do with having the help of the divine realms behind us in this action we're taking in the 10 of Wands. So being in the direction we need to head, we need to seek out this. Feels like the 40-foot view, 40,000-foot view. That's what it feels like. Step back, get off of their earthly playing field. Call in higher energies to help us here. What we're not seeing. The Two of Pentacles. Now, the Two of Pentacles is balanced. It's being able to make your world work. Balancing things on the earth plane. It's also, though, one thing leads to another. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's the great balance. Comes after this Ace. Gosh. If the Ace of Pentacles is what we're going to struggle with, maybe it's because what we're not seeing is that we're already at the 2. The Wheel of Fortune is a 10, that's a 1. The 10 of Wands is a 10, that's a 1. The One of Pentacles is a 1. Coming in here in other, we've got Justice, which is a 2. And what we're not seeing is a 2. Now, Justice is a larger energy than, because it's a Major Arcana card. It's a bigger energy than the Minor Arcana, which is this 2 of Pentacles. So what it feels like to me is that there are cycles inside of cycles going on right now. This is what the direction to head, to understand cycles within cycles. This Justice card is a middle cycle. I feel like there's 3 rings of cycles happening here. That's what it feels like. There's a middle cycle that is being held together by other on the Justice. But there's also a larger cycle here in this 10, in this Wheel of Fortune, and in this World card, which is a 3. This is a 1 to a 3. They're in the second ring. God, how do I explain this? There are 3 rings to reality. This war that they're fighting us is being waged on this second ring. And we need to step into this first ring in combination with this outer ring in order to defeat this second ring oppression. Therefore, we need to, on an individual level, on this very small inner ring, unite with others. And then with these uniting of others, move towards the third ring, which is happening concurrently with where we're at, because this world card is in our current position. It feels like what happens individually happens on the greater third ring, and the war that's trying to be waged here is on the second ring. By us uniting with others, it taps into the greater cycle that is coming to accumulation. We need to move in a direction that shows us this greater cycle, which will help us see that it's already balancing. It's already beginning to balance, and it's balancing from the individual small little spot in the middle. I believe, which will expand into this, like there's something about individual balancing, getting out of this fear, that will affect this societal balancing on the second ring. And that uniting, joining the cause with others in meditation or something that's hidden, activates this cycle of the larger ring that's completing. I do think, though, that being what we're going to struggle with, this Ace of Pentacles, it's like I think that it feels like we can skip over the Ace because we're already at the 2. It's not about 1, it's about 2. Okay. What's going to be illuminated? The Lovers in reverse. We're karmically entwined in a negative way. Okay. Okay, upright. Again, we've got a large crow. But this crow is actually being seen. Okay, in the tarot, the Devil card is card 15, which adds to a 6. It's intricately linked to the Lover's card, which is a 6. In reverse, what's going to be illuminated is that there is a false connection happening. It's a karmic connection. I feel like it has to do with evil, especially in this particular deck. The Lovers, this right now, it doesn't feel like a positive thing. It feels like the Devil card. These two beings in bondage, in worship of this thing. What's going to be illuminated is that there is a lack of bondage. We aren't actually bound. We aren't actually being bound by this. That's what's going to be illuminated. Okay, the bigger picture. The Chariot. Wow. Okay, so what's going to be illuminated is everything that's happening right now is actually the way it's supposed to happen. The Chariot, to me, is man's will and God's will moving forward in alignment. This feels like what I was talking about the inner ring with the number 1 little circle ring of individual, combining with the third outer ring That's what is illuminate. That is what is pictured here. This is man's will and God's will. That inner ring with the third ring, because that second ring is more of a societal ring. What's going to be illuminated is we are moving in alignment with God's will. This is ordained. We're reaching accumulation point of a cycle that is of a grand godly nature. And what's the bigger picture is aligning with that. We are aligning with that. Falling on top of this Seven of Wands, where this character is seeing that this big wraith over here in the Nine of Swords is actually just a small little thing. It talks about aligning with God, with your higher power, with Source, in order to move forward. Okay, the outcome. The Fool in reverse. The Six of Cups in reverse. And the Knight of Pentacles. Wow. I do want to see what's under the deck. The Queen of Swords. Now the Queen of Swords is the Queen of Discernment. She's a malleable energy because it's feminine with discernment. She also communicates. Okay. So up here, we've got the Fool, the Six of Cups in reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles. Now the Knight of Pentacles is somebody who's able to actually make things happen on the earth plane. They go out and get the money, they have the coin, they find the evidence, they make things happen on the earth plane. It's coming out with the Fool and the Six of Cups, both in reverse. The Fool is a new start, a new beginning. The Fool card comes after the World card. So the fact that it's in reverse, it's like it's not, we aren't at the completion point of this. We aren't starting on something new yet. The Six of Cups is a card of connections. It can be children, it can be your family of origin, it can be as far out as the Akashic records, all the history your soul has been through during its many incarnations here. It's in reverse. So there's something here about karmic cycles not beginning again yet. And it's like the answer to these karmic cycles not beginning again yet is has to do with taking action on the earth plane. It's like taking this man's will and God's will in alignment and putting out that. Don't forget God when you're putting your information out. Don't forget God. Because this inevitably has to do with communicating truth with this Queen of Swords under the deck. She's the card of communication, discernment, truth, and speaking about it. There's something here about putting on the armor of God when you put out your truthful information. Because what I determined in my automatic writing was that there was something about the global energy field of humanity, and as somebody's truth and energy frequency is more potent, it spikes on this energy field. And those spikes can be targeted by the entities that want to suppress and reduce these truth the truther movement. So they come in with suppression and censorship, and they squish or they surround that little spike in its own bubble, so that the information that this truther can put out is only within its own bubble that it's already at. It's like any information trying to get out of this truther's bubble is being automatically attacked, because this particular truther, and there's many, 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 many of them, are putting out quantumly true energy. I can't go into definitions. Hope you understand what I'm talking about. So they're being preemptively attacked so that their information can't get beyond their own sphere of influence, their own little circle. It was talking about something about expanding your sphere of influence very small, in a very small way, because it's a sphere. It's quantum that way. So any small increase in that energy will lead to a larger reach of your message, and then you can do it again and again and again. But it has something to do with actually fighting back against this psychic attack on your energetic truth bubble of messages trying to get out. That there is a need for a counterattack and strengthening your bubble as you expand it just a little. And then when you expand it just a little more, it's a quantum expansion. It grows exponentially. But there is something about putting on the armor of God to protect this bubble you have, because they keep trying to make it smaller, make your reach smaller. And I think that this is why the Wheel of Fortune is in the direction you need to head. It has to do with strengthening this circle, this bubble, bringing in God, putting on the armor of God, something like that. And by doing so, you can actually begin to actually expand your world with this Knight of Pentacles, taking action on the real world. But without, this might be what we're going to struggle with this Ace of Pentacles, is taking this one message, this truth, this thing, and doing it on the earth plane and not being able to get it out. There's something here about bringing in the Trinity, strengthening yourself through like-minded individuals. Moving forward, God's will and man's will in alignment is what the bigger picture is here. What's going to be illuminated being the Lovers in reverse. I mean, this is a karmic tie. It's in reverse. It's like they have to do it through fear. We have to give them permission. It's not real. It's not real. There's something here that's not real, except that we're trying to fight an information war, which is a psychic attack. We're trying to fight that on the earth plane, but there's something that God needs to be brought in here. I feel like we're fighting apples with lemons, something like that. Like we aren't, if you want your reach to be farther, then you need to visualize and work with the hidden realms in order to combat the attack that's happening on a psychic realm. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Take this reading for what you will. I hope it's helped. Till I see you again. Namaste.